Nature of classroom discourse, oral language. Discourse. Discourse is the communication of thought by words, talk, conversation. Discourse denotes written and spoken communication. Discourse is a fundamental aspect of human communication. It encompasses both written and spoken form of communication and refers to the way in which ideas, information, and knowledge are conveyed through language. Discourse can take the form of conversation, discussion, lectures, essays, article, and any other medium through which thoughts and ideas are expressed. The term discourse originates from the Latin word discursus, which means running to and from. This suggests the dynamic nature of communication as ideas are exchanged and shared between individuals. Discourse involves the use of language to convey meaning, express thoughts, and engage in conversation. A discourse is a body of text meant to communicate specific data, information, and knowledge. It's a mode of communication. Discourse is a style of written or oral form of communication. Discourse, Latin word discursus, means running to and from. Communication, oral or written. In educational settings, discourse plays a crucial role in learning and instruction. Teachers use discourse to engage students in meaningful conversations, encourage critical thinking, and facilitate the exchange of ideas. Classroom discourse allows students to express their thoughts, ask questions, and deepen their understanding of the subject matter. Discourse also plays a significant role in shaping societal norms, beliefs, and ideologies. Public discourse, such as political speech, media debates, and social media discussion, influences public opinion and can impact social change. The way in which issues are framed and discussed in public discourse can shape pupils' perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors. Broad meaning of classroom discourse. Traditional classroom. In traditional classroom setting, classroom discourse often follows a hierarchical structure, with the teacher assuming the role of the primary speaker and the students primarily listening and responding to the teacher's prompts or questions. The focus is on transmitting information from the teacher to the students, with limited opportunities for students to actively participate in the discourse. This type of discourse primarily involves representing and interpreting information, as students are expected to absorb and understand the content presented by the teacher. Generally, classroom discourse encompasses different types of written and spoken communication that happen in the teaching learning process in the classroom. Classroom discourse. Constructive classroom. Representing, thinking, expressing. However, in a constructive classroom environment, classroom discourse takes on a more interactive and student-centered approach. The emphasis is on engaging students in active learning, encouraging them to reflect, express their thoughts, and engage in meaningful discussions with their peers. This type of discourse goes beyond simply representing and interpreting information. It involves reflecting, agreeing, arguing, and debating ideas. Reflecting. Reflecting in classroom discourse involves encouraging students to think critically about the topics being discussed and to express their own opinion and perspectives. Agreeing. In classroom discourse involves students express their support or endorsement of an idea or opinion put forth by either the teacher or the peers. It fosters a sense of collaboration and built upon shared understanding. Arguing. Arguing in classroom discourse involves presenting differing viewpoints or opinions and engaging in a respectful exchange of ideas. It encourages students to consider alternative perspectives, challenge assumptions, and develop their critical thinking skills. Debating. Debating in classroom discourse involves engaging in a structured and formal discussion where students present arguments, provide evidence, and counter arguments on a particular topic. It promotes analytical thinking and effective communication and the ability to construct well reasoned argument. In constructive classroom, teachers play the role of facilitator, guiding and supporting students in their discourse. They create a safe and inclusive environment that encourages active participation, respectful dialogue, and open mindedness. By prompting constructive classroom discourse, educators foster a collaborative and engaging learning atmosphere that enhances students' critical thinking, communication skill, and overall academic growth. Classroom discourse encompasses the various forms of communication that occurs within the education setting. While traditional classroom discourse primarily focus on representing and interpreting information, and constructivist classroom environment encourages reflective thinking, agreement, argumentation, and debate. Classroom discourse. The term classroom discourse refers to the language that teacher and students use to communicate with each other in the classroom. Classroom discourse involves the language used by teachers and students during interaction in the classroom. It encompasses both verbal communication and the structure of this conversation. This discourse is critical because it shapes how teaching and learning occur. In classroom discourse, the teacher typically guides the conversation, posing questions, giving instructions, and providing feedback, while students respond, ask questions, and engage in discussion. The quality and nature of this interaction can influence students in understanding, participation, and overall learning experience. Taking or conversation is the medium through which most teaching takes place. So, the study of classroom discourse is a study of the process of face-to-face classroom teaching. Studying classroom discourse allows educators to analyze how effectively teaching is communicated and how students comprehend and engage with the material. By examining these interactions, educators can identify strategies to improve instructional method, enhance student participation, and create a more effective learning environment. Nature of classroom discourse. Develop communicative skill. Classroom discourse helps students and teachers develop effective communication skill by engaging in discussion, asking questions, and exchanging ideas. This practice improves their ability to articulate thoughts, listen actively, and respond appropriately. Reflective in nature. Discourse in the classroom encourages reflection, allowing students and teachers to think critically about what is being discussed. Reflective dialogue helps deepen understanding and support metacognition, where learners think about their thinking process. Next, active participation. For discourse to be effective, all participants need to be actively involved. Active participation ensures that everyone contributes to the conversation, which enhances learning and keeps discussions dynamic. Cooperative and collaborative. Classroom discourse often involves cooperative and collaborative interactions. Working together on discussions or problem solving tasks helps students build teamwork skills and learn from each other's perspectives. Create inclusive learning. Inclusive classroom discourse ensures that all voices are heard and respected, creating an environment where diverse perspectives are valued. This inclusivity supports equitable participation and learning opportunities for all students. Next, it brings clarity and distinctiveness in the speech. Engaging in classroom discourse helps students develop clarity and distinctiveness in their speech by practicing how to present their ideas clearly and persuasively. Power belongs to both teachers and students. Discourse in the classroom reflects a shared power dynamic. Teachers guide and facilitate discussion, but students also have the power to influence the direction and content of the discourse through their contributions. Teacher and student bring their own agenda to the classroom. Both teachers and students enter the classroom with their own goals and perspectives. These agendas interact through discourse, shaping the learning experience and influencing how topics are explored. It lead further dis- it lead further interaction. Effective discourse often leads to additional interaction as it raises new questions and prompts further discussion. This ongoing interaction deepens understanding and engagement, helps to develop a structure of power relationship. Classroom discourse helps establish and navigate the power dynamics between teachers and students. It creates a framework for understanding who has authority and how it is negotiated through communication. Oral language. Oral language is the system through which we use spoken words to express knowledge, ideas, and feelings. Oral language is the foundation for students' learning. Oral language, the complex system that relates sounds to meaning, is made up of three components. Phonological. This relates to the sounds of language, including the smallest unit of sound and how these sounds are organized and used in speech. Semantic. This component deals with meaning. It involves understanding and using vocabulary and how words and sentences convey specific meaning. Next, semantic. Syntactic. This refers to the rules and structures of sentences, including grammar and sentence formation. It governs how words are combined to form meaningful phrases and sentences. Together, these concepts from the complex system of oral language, allowing us to communicate effectively and understand others. Functions of oral language: expressing and responding feeling. It allows individuals to communicate their emotions and respond to the emotions of others, fostering interpersonal connections and emotional support. Informing. It is used to share information, knowledge, and facts, facilitating learning and dissemination of ideas. Controlling and persuading. Oral language can be employed to influence others' behavior or attitudes, guiding decision making or persuading people towards a particular viewpoint or action. Participating in social rituals. It plays a role in cultural and social practices such as greetings, ceremonies, and traditional practices, reinforcing social bonds and cultural identity. Creating and imagining. Through storytelling, creative expression, and imaginative scenarios, oral language allows for the exploration of ideas, creativity, and innovation. Oral language development across the curriculum. 5 components of effective oral language instruction. Promote auditory memory. Auditory memory refers to the ability to remember and recall information that is heard. To promote this, educators can use activities that require students to listen and then recall details, such as following multi-step oral instruction, engaging in storytelling, or participating in listening comprehension exercise. Next, develop listening and speaking skills. These are foundational skills for effective communication. To develop listening skills, encourage active listening exercise, where students pay attention to spoken information and respond or summarize it. To enhance spoken skills, provide opportunities for students to practice speaking in various contexts such as presentations, discussions, and debates. 5 components of effective oral language communication. Modeling, guided practice, independent practice, assessment, differentiation. Teach and extend vocabulary and conceptual knowledge. Vocabulary development is critical for language development. Introduce new words in context and provide opportunities for students to use these words in various activities. Extend conceptual knowledge by linking new vocabulary to existing knowledge and components using visuals, examples, and explanation. Teach a variety of spoken text. Expose students to different types of spoken language such as narratives, explanation, and discussion. This variety helps students understand different language structures and purposes, improving their ability to comprehend and produce diverse spoken text. Create a language learning environment. Foster an environment where language use is encouraged and valued. This includes providing a rich language environment with diverse linguistic resources, creating opportunities for meaningful communication, and supporting a positive atmosphere for practicing language skills. These strategies collectively support the development of oral language skills, which are crucial for academic success and effective communication. Developing oral language. Encourage conversation. Create a classroom environment where students feel comfortable speaking. Prompt discussion, ask open-ended questions, and create opportunities for students to share their thoughts. Model syntactic structure. Demonstrate proper sentence structure in your speech. For example, if you say, I went to the store to buy some milk, students learn how to construct similar sentences. Maintain eye contact. This helps build a connection between the speaker and listener, making conversations more engaging and showing that you are attentive. Next, remind students to speak loudly and articulate clearly. Encourage students to project their voice and pronounce words clearly to ensure they are understood. Explain subtleties of tone. Discuss how different tones can convey various emotions and meaning. For example, a question might have a rising intonation while a statement has a falling intonation. Attend to listening skills. Teach students how to listen actively, such as making eye contact, nodding, and responding appropriately to show they are engaged. Incorporate a question of the day. Use a daily question to spark conversation and encourage students to practice speaking and listening skills. This can be a fun and thought-provoking way to get everyone involved. Compile a class booklet of students' phrases. Collect and compile interesting or commonly used phrases from students into a booklet. This not only provides a record of their language use but can also be a resource for improving language skills. These strategies can help foster a supportive environment for developing strong oral language skills.